I mentioned this before, but let's show it. Number 9, Donald Trump on Truth Social. This settlement with 60 Minutes over the Kamala Harris interview, the amount was unclear. Trump claimed it was bigger than the 16 million. That's what it was, right? 16 million, because it also includes what he says are PSAs. So that settlement, again, one of the biggest outrages I've ever seen. Then just recently, last week or so, number 10, Skydance, the company that's coming in and buying CBS and Paramount, wrote two letters to the Honorable Brendan Carr, the chair of the FCC. One is saying they're going to end bias, ensure diversity of viewpoint, and have an ombudsman that they commit to employing for 2 years. And then the second letter, number 11, committing to ending DEI. Kind of incredible. Kind of incredible. So, Eric, what can you tell folks about this guy at the FCC and how Brendan Carr is using his power in this case and generally to do Donald Trump's bidding?
Sure. Well, it's kind of interesting because Brendan Carr has always had this reputation of being a very, down the middle Republican, like old school
Yeah.
Republican. And that's only changed in the last few months when he ascended to become chairman, and he started playing up, his Donald Trump MAGA bona fides.
Yeah.
And the key thing with this whole Skydance review that people need to understand is he doesn't need to vote it down. He doesn't need to take any vote whatsoever. He could just sit on his hands and do nothing. And this Skydance needs him to proactively approve the transfer of CBS's license, or else the deal doesn't get done and Sherry Redstone loses a lot of money. So they've been increasingly desperate to get off the sidelines here and to get it moving. And a lot of people who have been rallying against the merger have used this, picked it up, have kind of called on Brendan Carr to attach conditions to it. And it's given him a tremendous amount of leverage. And so yeah, up until this past week, Skydance, they couldn't even get a meeting with Brendan Carr. He wouldn't take a meeting. He kind of dodged them. And so now, now that the Trump has settled with CBS, he finally sat down with them, and they gave him CBS and Skydance, they say, yeah, we're going to get rid of DEI and a bunch of things to kind of move it along. And kind of funny enough, they still haven't gotten any firm word
Yeah.
on this merger.
Yeah, I try not to pity other people. I think it's a bad dynamic, but I pity anyone who's in a vulnerable position and trying to negotiate with Donald Trump. Because if you go to Donald Trump on bended knee, he'll say, "Not, oh, please stand up and let's talk." He'll say, "Get down on both knees," because he's merciless. And CBS keeps giving him stuff, and as you said, they finally got a meeting, but they don't have approval yet. And I bet you they're going to ask for more. Drew, what do you make of this as someone who believes in free markets? How do you feel about an FCC commissioner who clearly is, as Eric said, doing the MAGA business here, and not? I mean, he almost is open about it. He's not making the merger decision on the merits, on the public interest. He's making it apparently on how much they're willing to do for Donald Trump.
I think I would debate you a little bit there in terms of what's in the public interest, right? I think one of the things that Donald Trump campaigned on, ran on, and has his agencies and various administrations have focused on is delivering what the American people voted for, right? And I think there was a very, very clear message sent by the American voters about what they think about corporate DEI and what they think about all these other things. And so I take your point, I take Eric's point about the more heavy-handed approach from these agencies, but I think I think it probably behooves of us a little bit to step back and think about where this is all stemming from. And I think it's from an American public who is very, very disinterested in the kind of laissez-faire approach to corporate agglomeration and corporate mergers and other things like that have led us up to this point.
Okay, I totally take your point, and I like the way you phrased it, and I'll revise and extend what I said, but a little bit. But it's still used in government authority to pressure private sector companies. It doesn't make you at all uncomfortable?
I got to be honest with you, Mark. I think it went where it comes to leaving the kind of sacred free market alone. I am very okay with the public interest being directed towards corporations.
Okay.